Hello, welcome to the program Roundtable on the combined service of ASO Radio and Television. My name is Topsy Gimba, your host. Roundtable is a program that comes to you every day from Monday to Friday, exactly at about 9 o'clock. And you watch us on the screen, or you take time to listen to us on the radio using 93.5 FM Abuja. The program again gives us the opportunity as well to invite personalities to be with us in the studio to analyze issues that will be discussed on those editions. I want to tell you today, indeed, is another package for those that will be watching us that has to do with issues relating to agriculture. How best can we have food sufficiency in the country? Of course, you know the world is going global, and because of the rapid growth of the population, scientists have gone beyond the level of just cultivating and eat to meet up with the growing population. New introductions have been made into farming system to ensure that we come up with what is called biotechnology system of farming, where you plant a crop as small as it is, it gives you bumper harvest, or within a short time, you get so much you want at the end of the day. But again, most experts are of the opinion, to what extent can you say that what is being considered as hybrid has sufficient health implication or not to the humans? These are the things farmers need to tell us that we consume. No wonder ASO Radio and Television had to go beyond the level of discussing the program alone and decided to go after the national president for all Farmers Association of Nigeria to come and tell us what genetically modified organisms are, and then to what extent can we say it is safe for human. Shall we continue to go like the other countries are really going, like in the case of America and some other developed countries in the world? We do not know. But again, for those who know much about what it is, will be telling us basically on this program this morning. And therefore, with me in the studio live and direct, I have the national president for all Farmers Association of Nigeria in the person of architect Kabir Ibrahim. It's a pleasure having you on the program, ASO Radio and Television this morning, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the man that will be speaking with us in a couple of 50 minutes, looking into biosafety, food sufficiency, and health implications for those who consume what today we call genetically modified organism or food. We shall take a break. By the time we return, we yield the microphone to our guests in the studio, and so don't go away.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Good to know you're still there. Of course, like I said, my guest this morning is Architect Kabir Ibrahim, National President, All Farmers Association Nigeria, AFAN. It's a pleasure again, sir, to say you're welcome to the studio.
The pleasure is mine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You are the National President, All Farmers Association Nigeria, AFAN. Tell us basically about this association and what do you do in it?
Well, the AFAN, simply, or All Farmers Association of Nigeria, is the umbrella association of all farmer associations and anybody who has to do anything with agriculture, no matter what it is called. We came into being in 2002. We were unified during the regime of President Obasanjo. There were many tendencies that came together to form the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. The percussors are Rear Admiral Inyako, the late Femi Koka, and Dr. Shatim Mustafa. They were all doing different things, but Obasanjo, being a farmer, got them to come together to found AFAN. It was first Alfan, and then they removed the L and put AFAN. So, and much later, well, the concept was all associations, all commodity associations, and all farming associations were under AFAN. But there were some segregations because the three musketeers were made deputy presidents 1 and 2, and then Inyako was appointed their president.
Yeah.
The associations, commodity associations, were under Dr. Femi Koka. Later on, I had the privilege of becoming the president of Poultry Association of Nigeria. And I was automatically under AFAN, and then as a leader of Poultry Association, I was directly a vice president in AFAN. So also are all commodity association presidents. They are automatically vice presidents in AFAN. But certain things led to, a lot of confusion and all that. And then you now have the commodity associations being called FACAN. Those ones doing agriculture and other businesses went to the Federal Ministry of Investment. And they have an office there, but then we still relate with them, but not as strongly as we should have been doing. And this is the bane of agriculture today, because agriculture or people in associations or farmers should speak with one voice for there to be good results. But we're working on it. It's work in progress. We should all come together. But basically what we do is to harmonize the relationships between all these people toward the provision or the attainment of food security for our nation. At present, our population is close to 40 million. Every farmer is a member of AFAN. And anyone can be a member, even those intending to be members can be members. All you need to do is to register where you have or intend to have your farm as a member, and we are ready to take you. The money for registration is hardly 1,000 naira. And we are able to discuss with all stakeholders and to tell them what the farmers need at any given time. And we contribute in policy formulation. And in fact, in the Council of Agriculture meetings that are annual, we are a voice there. We tell government, we tell people, stakeholders, what they are expected to do to make agriculture the mainstay of the economy and the provider of food security for all. In a nutshell, I think we can safely say that this is what we do. But there is no compulsion, and we have a constitution. We are an NGO. We are not a department in any government. So that's where we are.
Okay. Do you work in concern with other international bodies or scientists who look into aspects of providing technology into the system of agriculture, so that at the end of the day, you may just farm in a little portion and you get so much to offer? Do you work together with them?
Of course, we are amenable to talking with anyone that will bring improvement to what we do, because we are doing agriculture as a business. We want to optimize our production, we want to learn to add value, and we want to learn to get the best seeds and the best technology that can really drive our processes. We are in everyday contact with all the people, be they scientists, businessmen, whoever. Even you, the press, because nobody will know what we are doing except we talk about it. Yeah. So we have very close working relationship with scientists in the agriculture space.
Okay. So looking at the Nigerian population, the population is growing geometrically, and food production is being done arithmetically. And that, again, meaning that there will be scarcity, and then there will be stampede in the system to get what it's supposed to eat, because the rapid growth is geometrical. Now, if it is believed to be the way we are saying, like the way I've just said, what are you really doing to ensure that some other improvements, they come on board so that you use those improvements and then you produce sufficient food for food security and for enough to be eaten in the country, and then even export?
You see, production or productivity will be optimized if you deploy technology. Mechanization in the first place. Our mechanization is abysmal. We must learn to replace human power with machine power. The level of mechanization is very low here in Nigeria, but it is work in progress. And then technology is just coming in. We have many challenges also, and we are where we are because we rely heavily on mass production by using human power. But as time goes on, just like the United States and all that you look at, the population of farmers in the United States used to be just like what we have in Nigeria, about 70% of the people being engaged in agriculture. But now in the United States, there is only about 2% of the population directly involved in that. But this is because of technology and mechanization and all that. Now the large space users in agriculture have replaced the people with 1 hectare and 2 hectares and all that. So in Nigeria, it is going to be the same. Not all of us should be engaged directly in the nitty-gritty of production. The young people who are in the past looking at agriculture as a chore that has to be done to just exist should start thinking again that agriculture should be really a business. There are many ends to it, and the production is just one. And the production, once you deploy technology and good science and mechanization, can be so optimized that it is the value addition and the processes that take place within it that will provide employment for the teeming young people that we have in Nigeria. There are many, many things that you can do in agribusiness. And that is, I think, where we are headed. Nigeria, maybe in a number of years, will become food sufficient if the right kind of thing is done and the processes or policies we have are duly implemented. Nigeria needs to work very hard on getting the right kind of people in the right kind of place so that all policies, all these lofty policies that are there will be implemented. I would want to tell you also that AFAN itself embraces technology and especially biotechnology that leads to the production or where GM crops sprout from, because there is a lot of hope that that will be an opportunity for the farmers to get out of poverty and get into prosperity. So we do that. Wow. We are every day talking with people who know, because it's no longer just doing what another person is doing. You must learn, you must open your mind, you must adopt and embrace changes that will make your business good.
Yeah. Talking about biotechnology in agriculture, are you satisfied with it? Where in a situation you see crops are crossbreeded, they are crossbred in a system where study will be done into rice or either to oranges, that the way we know it in Nigeria or in some other climes, these crops they produce once in a year. But because of the new system of agriculture where biotechnology has been introduced into it, you will now notice that you might harvest oranges maybe 2 times in a year. And then maybe rice, you just plant in a small portion, you get so many bags as you can as a result of that. As farmers, and then as a national president, are you happy or you're concerned going forward, looking at consumption rate of those foodstuffs and the health implication on humans?
You have asked many, many questions, but I would like to be very frank with you. I'm not an expert in biotechnology. I trained as an architect, but I'm a businessman. I'm doing the business of agriculture, and I know about it. Before you embark on anything, try to understand what it means. Biotechnology offers a lot of opportunities for prosperity and food security or food sufficiency in any system, in the sense that you use the gene, that is the makeup of the product itself, to improve its capacity to resist disease and drought, and to optimize its productivity. To that extent, as a businessman and as a farmer, I wholly embrace that. And as a spokesperson of the farmers, I know and I can talk about all the farmers embracing that. You saw me yesterday at the public hearing, and I reiterated that position even here and now. We embrace biotechnology that leads to genetic engineering that gives rise to GM crops, which are commonly referred to as GMO. And I have attended conferences in the best universities in the world. Ithaca, for instance, in New York, at the Cornell University, at the 2017 Food Security Conference, Global Food Security Conference. All the antis, those people against GM and all that, were there. The best scientists who have been working on this were there. We had a week-long discussion with them, and my background is also science, practical science.
Practical science of that matter.
I listened attentively, and I came up with the conclusion that I could not see any nexus between any disease whatsoever and GM crops. So I came back and I reported to the farmers. And today, we're in the forefront of biotechnology that leads to GM crops, and it is quite safe. And we were also in the forefront in getting the law into that, the enabling law for the biosafety management agency. Nobody will bring out any GM crop into Nigeria except or until it is tested to be quite safe before it gets to the market. And the people are doing their work. They have been doing it for 7 years now, and we have not had any problems. So I will go from now on to embrace and to ask people in Nigeria to embrace that. After all, we have been consuming GM crops when we were importing from other countries. Take, for instance, when we used to import a lot of rice. All the rice that comes from Brazil, Thailand, and all that, most of it is also GM. Many things you buy in the shops are GM. But nobody told you. But what we believe is that you must test it for safety. You must be sure that it is safe before you release it. In Nigeria, we have just started releasing some of these crops.
Yeah.
I attended the release of PBR cowpea. That's Port Bora resistant cowpea in Kano. We did a launch in Lagos where we saw people making akara from it, and it was very sweet, and everybody asked for more. And I planted this material on my farm and saw what it could do. Otherwise, when you plant beans, you spray it 8 to 10 times. When I planted this, I was lucky to only just have sprayed it twice.
In that period?
In that period, for the period that it would mature. Sure. And then it was resistant to this disease, this Port Bora, which, it diminishes your productivity or the yield by almost 90%. And I was lucky that there was no infestation of that, and then we got very good yield. And today, I recommend it to everybody. There is also BT cotton, where you maximize on the productivity on it. And this is a commercial crop. It is the gateway to prosperity for everybody who plants it. And then Teller maize is coming on board. We are going to be able to do it on maize. And maize is very, very important because, in fact, in Nigeria, there is no segregation between the feed grade that we give animals and the ones that we eat. So, and you can see the pressure from 200 million mouths in Nigeria with the animals that we have, all taken from the same production. So we do need it in corn, for instance. And to attain self-sufficiency, and food sufficiency and even food security in the long run, we do need to embrace biotechnology. Anybody who brings anything inimical to that attainment of food security is an enemy to Nigeria. And then we can see that there are so many problems today, but this is global. If you notice that in September last year, the UN Secretary General even convened and launched the food system policy, that every country in the world should contribute to the betterment of its food system because of the challenges posed by COVID. Now, even in the United States, there are queues. In fact, at the time of COVID, there were queues in food banks, people going to get food from there. And now there is overall inflation on food everywhere on the globe. In Nigeria, it's about 20% or more. In the United States, inflation is now over 9%. Europe, you can see a lot of things. And there are many, many other challenges here. In Nigeria today, because of even the shocks of insecurity, lack of mechanization, lack of good seeds, the growth in population, geometrically you called it, we do need to get a science that will optimize the production and productivity of food for us to be able to even feed ourselves. And technically speaking, if you check very well, on this hemisphere, Nigeria is responsible for feeding so many countries all around. If you go to Dawano, for instance, you see trucks full of food items like maize and all that going right up to Timbuktu. And the border or the corridor between Lagos and Ghana is always being plied by trucks carrying food items and all that. And I was lucky to have attended this year, about February or March, a conference in Nairobi, Kenya. What do they call it? The Kikau discussion. It was a discussion with the AATF, and so many people were invited. We all told ourselves the truth that Africa itself should contribute to the food basket of the world, for the attainment of food security in the whole world. Because it's only in Africa that you have this virgin cultivable land, and the population of Africa as a whole is 60% youth. So we have the energy, we have the land, we have the opportunity to even make the world food secure. All we need to do is to work and encourage people to produce. That is very, very cardinal in this matter. Yeah. So the food security issue is a global issue. And Nigeria has got challenges of its own, so work has to be done, a lot of work has to be done for us to attain food security or food sufficiency in the first instance.
Okay. Your background is poetry, right? As in why you got involved in farming?
Well, look,
I know you are by training, by your calling, you are an architect.
Yeah,
but you have got involved in agriculture of recent, and that's why you are there as a national president, aren't you?
Well, you see, I am interested. I'm a voracious reader.
Yeah.
And I think my beginnings, you know, from primary school to secondary school, I played a lot of important roles in storytelling. And this language we speak, I was interested in it. I was fascinated by it because I was challenged. When I got into Form 1, from my village, we used to say, "The boy runs through the window." And people used to laugh at us. A laugh at me. So I am from Katsina State. Right. So I learned quickly. I changed my diction.
From Za.
I changed my diction. And most of our teachers were English people. So I was able to really learn very fast. Wow. And I was the only science student, and I want to hoot my own horn, the only science student who got the prize of English language as well as chemistry when I was finishing.
Imagine.
So I was good in science and
can you imagine?
So if you call me an orator, if you said I understand poetry or whatever, that is your cup of tea. But I know that I get by.
Can you imagine? We're in a situation whereby you have chickens that have grown in less than 3 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, and then they are mature for consumption.
Well, I think you are being ambitious. You see, I'm a chicken farmer, actually. I told you at the beginning that I was the president of Poultry.
Why I ask you this question, sir? In a situation whereby you have these animals or these birds grown in a very less period of time to full-grown birds for you to consume them, and then when you compare them with those ones we keep at home, local ones, that they will take time closely to a year or more before they are mature enough for you to slaughter and make your meal out of them. If you do them like the way they are being grown, the agric ones, and then you consume them for a very long period of time, are you saying there is no health implications in that long-term consumption?
You are really
if you agree with me,
I don't agree with you because you are going into an area that is nothing to do with even what you are talking about biotechnology as such. This is a fundamental. If you will talk of local chicken, who knows the number of local chickens that we have in Nigeria? And look at our population. If you are going to rely on the local chicken, will you be able to feed anybody? Even with the broilers now, now we have what we call the noiler, which is a crossbreed between the layer and the broiler. We still do not have sufficient chicken and egg in Nigeria because from my studies and my practical understanding of poultry, for instance, every human being is supposed to eat at least an egg a day. So if you are 200 million, let's say those people who can eat, not infants, form maybe, even if it's 70% of that population, 70% of that population eating an egg daily, where are you going to get it? So we have a lot of work to do to even feed our nation, and we have to shed some of these thinking, feeling that we have. We have to be educated. We have to come close to people who know exactly what is happening all over the world. In the United States, I'm sure you have heard of Roy Rogers, or what is this person who became a billionaire at 80? The man who does KFC.
okay.
If KFC is the cheapest kind of food, we call it food for cash eaters, people who are poor. You just buy it and you can eat it even while driving and all that. In the United States, it's the cheapest form of food. It is with $1 you can eat anything like that. In Nigeria, if you take go to Mr. Biggs or anywhere to buy chicken, can anybody on the street just afford it? So we are not yet there. And we do need the broilers of this world and the laying birds of this world. If you call it agric chicken or whatever you call it, we do need it. And it is safe for consumption. Nobody has ever mentioned anything like health hazard because you eat that. What people are talking about is the genetically modified crops. And this one is not even talking about livestock. They are talking of
in any case,
plant.
Yeah, in any case, what genetically modified, it has to be scientifically induced to now make a bumper harvest out of it. The bumper harvest, why I brought about the similarity of the chicken kind of, it's because you don't take longer time and then you start consuming them. So in whichever way you see, just like the way you will now do crossbreeding in rice or in oranges, and then in a very short time you do harvest either 2 times or 3 times in a year, it's still the same method of growing chicken could be applied to, the crops we are talking about here. And so the question here is, if that is done continuously for a very long period of time, for one individual to be eating those kind of foodstuffs, to what extent can you say one is safe? Now, let me give you an instance. Look at the increase of various diseases, ailments that people are faced with today as a result. One begins to imagine to what extent are we beginning to encounter all these ailments. A child at the age of 10, 12, he is already diabetic, or either having heart attack, or probably he has to be using a pair of glasses that are whatever to correct the sight. And so we did not make that a comparison, who we are this time and the way our parents were in those days. You will now know something is wrong fundamentally.
No.
And it could be attributed to what we eat, your lifestyle.
See, what your lifestyle, yes, accounts for some of the elements that you have, but they are not necessarily because they are genetically modified. See, food types that cause diseases, if you ask your doctor, they will tell you. If food types that are very heavy in fats can cause some ailments. And they don't have to be genetically modified. And you have people who live to 80, they don't have diabetes, they don't have any ailment. And they have been eating some of these things. You have a child, you said maybe 10, 12, and he's diabetic. This is his makeup. Diabetes is a makeup thing. It's a deficiency in the production of insulin in the body. It is from nature. It is not necessarily, if you are not diabetic, you don't have the tendency. If you take sugar, you don't become diabetic by taking sugar, because the system works properly to expunge that is not required. But when you have the tendency, you just need to take a little and it will exacerbate your problems. So if you are going to that area, I believe we need more education on that, and I'm not an expert. But what I am going to tell you now is this. From the safety view, the biosafety agency, management agency, is there to make sure that whatever you consume is safe before it is given to the people. And that takes us to the area of food safety. And food safety is another matter entirely. If you go to the Ministry of Health, they will tell you that there is a food safety, food quality and food safety. And in Nigeria, we have a center of excellence near Abuja here, the Federal University of Technology in Mina. We have a center of excellence for food safety. And everywhere in the world, there are issues of food safety that you have to check. So this is beyond what you are talking about. But if you want to restrict us to biotechnology and GM, as at now, there is no nexus and no scientific nexus between GM crops and any health issues. They might come later. Maybe good science later might bring it. But for now, there is none. And we are not in any trouble at the moment, because all those things that have been released based on the recommendation of the Biosafety Agency. And that was why we stood up against those people who brought about the issues of amending the act, sponsoring a bill to amend the act of the Biosafety Management Agency Limited. You remember that. We were there at the public hearing many years ago during, I think it was passed during Goodluck Jonathan. That's when it became an act. And we have been operating it for the 7 years of this administration without any complaints from anywhere. And so far, it is doing very well, and more so now that we have many shocks in the system. Insecurity is a very big threat to food security. And the optimization of production, for instance, will help us to attain food security faster. So therefore, the government and the farmers and everybody in Nigeria should really embrace it. Because for the farmers, it is the fastest way of getting out of poverty. As you said, with very small hectareage, you are able to produce optimally. That is why you are getting maybe 2 tons, you would get 18 tons. You see, when I just started work, I used to carry, my salary was about 300 and something naira. I used to take 100 naira to give to people, elderly people in my village, and they were smiling anytime I gave them 2 naira, 3 naira. Today, when I go to my village with 1 million naira, when I give them, I still see poverty written on their faces. And at that time, as I told you, as I was beginning to have my children, when they were very small, anytime I got back from the village, they would come to me, oyoyo, and they would open my boot, and you see chicken and some things that were given to me by people from my village. Now I go there, I give them 1 million naira, I see poverty, and they are not able to give me anything because they don't have. So the level of poverty is such that if there is any opportunity for people to optimize production and to feed themselves well, you encourage it. And if there are risks, even here in this studio where I'm talking with you, we have eddy currents from electricity. You are high up here. You can see that big line, power line that is for 300 and something volts passing by. There is what is called eddy current. When you are staying there for a long time, it will cause cancer to you. That's what the scientists say. So in everything you do in life, there are risks. Even while I was driving my car here, I stood the risk of being hit or hitting anybody. While I sit with you here with no water, nothing, I could just suffocate. This is risk. But you take the risk to do what you want. And in life, you must take risks. Yeah. In fact, you don't get anything good without risk taking.
It's true.
So there you are.
So you were in National Assembly because this program, having spoken to at length the way I've just done, we'll invite those who are watching us, or probably they are in their cars driving to offices, monitoring using 93.5 to call if they would. The question I wanted to find out from you before we could go on break, is that the reason why you people came to National Assembly this week on the amendment to the Biosafety Management Agency act, you people, the experts, the stakeholders, all kick against it.
Well, you see,
And again, are you working in tandem with National Biotechnology Development Agency, where Professor Abdullahi Mustafa heads, and making sure that some of those things you are saying, they are coherently put together for a successive achievement for food sufficiency and production going forward?
we work with everyone in the agriculture space. There are opportunities for us to get out of poverty by embracing biotechnology. So when issues OFAP came, we looked at what they had to offer. We keyed into it. Well before Professor Abdullahi became the Oga of that.
The DG.
Yes, I think there was a lady there. There was even somebody else before her,
Yeah.
and there was a lady, and then he is there.
Yeah.
This is work in progress. It was with them that I even told, I said that we went to ITCA. It was with them, with the OFAB head that we went, and the Bill and Melinda Gates gave a grant to AATF,
Yeah.
and we got opportunity to go there and listen to these people. Because before that, we were getting pamphlets, we were listening to people on radio and all that on the issues around GM. The antis were making a lot of noise. Those pro were making a lot of noise too, but they were working scientifically. So we simply opened our eyes, and then with my level of education and with my bias, I tried to really understand the issues. I didn't just buy it just like that. I listened, I analyzed it, and I came down to all the farmers that I had, and that I told them. And we are present in the 774 local government areas. We have chapters in the 36 states plus FCT. We have a platform. Even what we did yesterday, we put it on the platform. Today you gave me a clip of what you were able to. We are going to put it on that platform. The people will see and listen, and this information will be disseminated to all the nooks and crannies of this country. And in most of the places, the matter will be translated in the language that those people understand. Yeah. So there is nobody who doesn't know. And then you have a choice. You see, the choice in this business is that as time goes on, wherever you go to buy any of these things, it will be labeled. This is GM. It's your choice if you want to take GM. In the United States, there are restaurants that serve GM and organic foods. Something that you don't even use chemical fertilizer to produce, because even chemical fertilizer, the fertilizer that we have been clamoring for, is discouraged in some areas. Even here, there is a move from the Federal Ministry of Health that you should not, or we should discourage people from using chemical fertilizer.
Honestly, can you hold it there briefly, sir, so that by the time we go on a very short break, we equally invite those who are watching us to, maybe they have one or two questions to ask in this explanation you are making on the topic being discussed on ASO Radio and Television this morning. We've been speaking really with our guest is Architect Kabir Ibrahim. He is the National President, All Farmers Association of Nigeria. So we'll take a break. When we return, we'll read the number and for those who want to contribute on the program. So don't go away.
Please give us the permission to search you. You can go.
Is this a movie? If it happened.
Officer, I beg carry and go station. When our Oga come, you come meet am for there.
Hey, Mr. Man, I cannot do that.
Tell your Oga to come to our station when he returns.
Am I in a movie? If it happen,
Mama, please.
Mama, please. Thank God you're here. Do the needful.
Mama, please, just 3 weeks
Madam,
now.
why did you invite us to come help chase your tenant now?
This is a civil matter now.
Is this a movie? If it happen,
If we follow
The new police law.
Welcome back. Yes. We're still on roundtable, and the topic we are discussing is we're looking at biosafety, the genetically modified crops, food security in Nigeria, and the effects. And that's why the national president, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, in the person of architects, Kabir Ibrahim, is here discussing in-depthly for you to become conscious basically of what it is all about, what we're discussing this morning. It is only them or him who will be able to tell us the position of what we stand to get as a nation if biotech or biofood are being modified to ensure that we grow the population and then to have little or no challenge in some of these health challenges we are suspecting being created as a result of what we consume. But of course, we ask the question to clarify that it could be genetic as a person, not necessarily what we eat. But again, it's an opportunity for you to be with us on the program this morning. If at all you're watching ASO Television or you're listening to ASO Radio 93.5, you dial 09057 408 127. That's the number to interact with us or join us on the conversation. You were right on point when I asked you concerning what you people did. I'm talking about the stakeholders, expert in the science industry or science sector, so to speak, completely kick against the amendment in the National Assembly, particularly in Senate, on the Biosafety Management Agency Limited Act. And you were one of them. And you were talking about OFAP and certain things like that when we went on the break. Sort of.
I'm not an expert, but a stakeholder. I just am interested in what happens around me. I mentioned OFAP because that is the open forum for agricultural biotechnology in Africa. And they work directly with the Africa Agricultural Technology Foundation, the ATF, which has headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. The work they are doing here is very vital for the farmers. And the question of GM is a gateway to prosperity for farmers, and we embrace it. But before embracing it, we listened and we saw results coming from people, and there are many strategies put in place to make sure that it is safe before it is even commercialized. And it is from that background that we came out to support in total. The experts came with scientific evidence to support. We as farmers...
Okay, let's pick this call, sir. Hello, good morning.
My name is Pastor David Afolabi.
Go ahead, Pastor.
When you are talking about all the genetic factors, God has naturally blessed our soil in such a way that they can be able to help us. But all scientists, they are bringing different methods in order to destroy the society. So I don't think that all these kind of things they are bringing to Africa is in order to destroy and spoil a lot of things. We don't need it in this country. Let them carry it away.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Pastor. Carry it away. What they are bringing is meant to destroy Africa. Carry it away.
So we should also take all the cars away because they pollute the atmosphere. Before the advent of these contrivances, traveling was troublesome and cumbersome. I never entered a contrivance called a car until I went to do common entrance in 1971 or 2. My village was remote. The market day was once in a week, and there were many things that were missing. With the advent of transportation and all that, now you just come out of your house and you get everything. With the advent of transportation, I'm here now from Faskari. We are here in your studio. We are doing these things. You called me and I came down and all that. And then do we throw away cars because they bring about pollution which affects climate change? And this one that Pastor is saying, yes, God gave us everything, but he also gave us the faculties to think and do things well. I'm an architect. If I design a house for him, I give him more space. I give him more space for easing himself and all that. That is from science, and it's not brought from anywhere. Now, coming back to biotechnology and GM. The GM crops that are being produced or being released, commercialized in Nigeria, are produced here in Nigeria. Nobody brings in GM crops from anywhere. we do them here in our laboratories, and it is our own people. Maybe his son will become a professor, a breeder or something, who will be able to do this. So it's not, we are not going to throw it away because we have not brought it from anywhere. We are producing them here and commercializing here. And we have the biosafety agency to make sure that it is safe.
Sorry, sir. Hello, good morning. Okay, you can still call back. The number again is 09057 408127. I'm sorry, 09057 408127. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, Topsy Jimba, and good morning, our guest.
Thank you, sir.
The National President of the Farmers Association. I'm looking forward to becoming a member, a kind farmer in the country one day. But my interest is on crops. Then I want to ask you, you made mention of the security and safety of the bio products. Then I want to ask, why is it that when you go to hospital today and you're suffering, your patient suffering diabetes and heart-related conditions as a result of high cholesterol, why is it that doctors recommend that you will go for local chicken and fowl instead of the broiler you mentioned? Because the high content of the fat in broilers triggers off high cholesterol. So how do you juxtapose that with nature? Altering nature, what God has originally put in place, the GMO is coming to alter it. Don't you think it has severe consequences? I want to ask you then, when you go to buy fruits in the market, you see most of the traders, they ripen things like banana and the likes with carbide and the likes. They force it to ripe against when God originally planned for that banana to ripe. Don't you think it's going to be causing a lot of problems to us? Because anything you do to alter the natural course of anything has its consequences. Please respond.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I want to make very clear is that I'm not a doctor. And whatever you eat, even in the religions that you belong to, you have been told and advised to eat in moderation. So if you get a fatty crop or food and you just eat it until you cannot even walk, it can be a problem to you. Because they say gluttony is as bad a vice as is drunkenness. So if you eat out of moderation, you get into problems. But you have to have a disposition for diabetes to be diabetic. I mean, you ask your doctor again. I don't think that anybody who just eats that becomes diabetic. But if you have a precondition or a disposition, then it aggravates it. There are some food items that will exacerbate your bad situation. You should avoid them.
Okay. You know, because of time factor, and you are not a scientist, though you are a scientist by application as an architect. I would have asked you, because in America, you know, kidney is selling because people have kidney-related diseases, and these kidneys are failing almost on a daily basis. I'm told, and I equally read, that in America, if you go there, you will see they are harvesting babies. They will give birth to small children, infants, immediately, and they will now do this genetically modified thing. And they're making the baby to grow immediately in less than a year, a person has become a full-grown human being, so that they will not take the kidney and use, but the brain is a baby brain. But the physique is for a mature person.
I'm sorry to tell you that that is fairy tale. It's not the true story. Because I have family.
I read in a magazine, Time magazine. Sir.
No, listen to me.
Let me tell you, I read the Time magazine where a baby ate this genetically modified animal. In less than 12 months or a year or thereabout, the baby has become full grown up with everything a woman has. Immediately. They had to query the growth rate of that baby, and they discovered because of this modified thing that we eat.
I don't think so. I have family in
It's not a fairy tale.
I have family in the United States. Nobody gives birth to children just to harvest their organs. In fact, people wait in line until an organ becomes available. Either if a child dies accidentally or they are murdered or anything, once the organs are good, some people even donate their organs. There is no bank that keeps all these things for people to come to. I am telling you this because I know. I have a grandchild now who had to undergo transplantation of the kidney. He waited 1 year to get it in the United States, in the Children's Hospital in Washington, D.C. My family there lives in Virginia. So if there were banks and they were producing them everywhere, then we would not have to wait for it. In Nigeria, you see our former deputy chairman of the Senate is going through a lot of trouble because somebody volunteered to give an organ. If what you are telling me is true of the United States, then it should also be true in the UK. Why should he even get somebody to want to donate? But this is a fairy tale.
Okay, Akile, thank you so much for coming. Do you have one thing to say before we draw the curtains?
No, I think we owe it to the people to tell them the truth. But we cannot tell the truth if we don't open our minds to understand what is going on around us and what is going on in the world. And then for us to get into leadership, we must be prepared for leadership. We must work very hard to understand that which we are involved in, and then tell people the truth about it. It's up to the people to make a choice. And that is what should happen in leadership in all its ramifications, even in the leadership of this country.
All right, sir. Well, we thank you so much for being part of this program this morning, I must confess.
You're very welcome. Anytime. Just call me anytime.
All right. I didn't know when I started calling you Akite, but I know.
But you should pay me.
Oh, my God. Well, that's about the size of this program this morning on Table on the Combined Service of also radio and television. We had a very fruitful discussion with my guest in the person of National President, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Akite Kabir Ibrahim. You listened to him very clearly, and he spoke very well for you to understand basically the direction of where we are going as a people. We shall be doing that again, although it's a weekend, so we'll be seeing you again on Monday. My name is Topsy Gimba. Do have a very lovely time, and bye-bye.